All right, there we go. Now we are live on Facebook. Where are we at on YouTube? I think YouTube is going live. Everything's live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, sitting here doing my bike cardio. This is bonus cardio for the day, but I'm going to double stream. We're going to do Facebook. We're going to do YouTube at the same time. I'll tab back and forth for your questions and comments. Going to finish my last bit of coffee. This is bonus cardio. I've already done 3 hours of walking fasted. We streamed all of it. But let's burn through a little more body fat. Never a bad thing. We get on the bike. Let's get some double outreach and talk to all my lovely people on both platforms. Hopefully we get some decent views here. I guess we'll find out here shortly. So far, nobody on Facebook yet, but we got a couple of views here on YouTube, so we'll just see how it continues to go. All right. But we hop over there. All right, cool. All right, guys. Again, the goal, let's get lean. So a lot of what I'm going to do here, as I've already said previously, I'm just going to get leaner and leaner and leaner. I'm going to do my best to keep as much muscle as I can. I'm going to prioritize arms a bit while I'm doing this to maybe, if at all possible, gain any bicep or tricep growth. And I'm just going to cut down leaner and leaner. So it's hours of fasted cardio every day. Training full body 3 days a week at the moment for this to retain muscle. I try to get at least 2 hours of fasted lifts on those days. We hit 3+ on the other 4 days every week. We are already at the plus. I crossed 3 hours past it by a couple minutes already with the morning walks. Now we're going to do a little bit of biking. About better because I'm streaming both. I don't discuss that at all. There's no such conversations because I'm also streaming on Facebook at the same time, and they have stricter policies. We don't even discuss the topic of TRT. So it's not even going to be answered at all. All right. But I do hold a very pro TRT position. I think any man who has low testosterone should absolutely talk to their doctor about it. Right. And I think that's a fair consensus. I'm very, very pro for that. I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but we don't discuss actual drug use of any type when I'm streaming to both platforms. Okay. And we have to be fair about that. But I mean, keep in mind, my fat-free mass index is over 25 and I'm 48 years old. So I should tell you literally everything you need to know. Right? Although I'm going to start saying from now on, full natty, bro. I mean, I'm decades of powerlifting. I mean, I hold state records as a master's powerlifter in a couple classes. I've broken records in a couple. Right now, I'm trimming down to build a golden era type physique. Okay. But I'm always going to care about strength. Like I'm always going to want to have a big squat, bench, and deadlift. I'm always going to want to have an elite total in powerlifting for my age and weight class. Right. So that's always going to be important. But at the moment, yes, I mean, I'm doing tons of rep work. Most of my training is 8+ reps. You know, that's what we're doing for everything. So, again, pretty much what we're doing. So right now I am focusing on getting a lot leaner, physique, healthier, all that stuff is pretty much what we're doing. Right. All right, let me check Facebook and see if we have anything there. Mustafa's in Facebook. All right. Mustafa says, I want wider shoulders and a smaller waist, also fuller chest. We just have to keep building it. Mustafa, you definitely have body dysmorphia. You actually, by most standards, have a really, really good physique. Right? But body dysmorphia is part of all that. Right? It's goes with a lot of what you do. But you definitely have body dysmorphia. So all I would say is keep building, right? Keep working on those things. Keep building. Just keep doing the best you can. But you definitely, as someone I've spoken to, 100% have body dysmorphia, right? All right. So you're welcome, Mustafa. All right, let me hop over back to the tube. There's only one person commenting on YouTube. It's going to be a little slow, but hopefully it picks up. It's been a little slower this week for streams versus last week. Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were really good. They've been really slow the last few days. But, there's only so much we can do there. Watching on both platforms. Yeah, it's all good, Mustafa. I mean, the Facebook helps me a lot too, so it's all good. Just dropping more comments here helps me a lot, actually. Right? It helps get my Facebook stuff into the feed. So just continue to, to comment there. We're good, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, the YouTube is really, really, really slow. Feed Me says, does upright rows help build the overhead press? I don't know. We can debate that. I mean, in theory, sure. But I mean, realistically, just doing a different shoulder exercise that works different ratios may not improve the overhead press. I guess it depends on where your weak links are. But gaining muscle will always improve strength on an exercise if you're working the primary movers. But is it one of those where you're like, hey, my overhead press needs to come up, so I'm going to focus on upright rows to do it? Well, not necessarily. You got to look at where your weakest link is. If you're looking at actual assistance type exercises, but gaining more muscle in the primary movers always going to make a lift go up, at least potentially. Right? And they're both in the upright row is a good exercise. Right? It's absolutely a good exercise. So hopefully that helps you feed me. But I mean, it's not one of those where I would look at someone and go, yeah, the upright row is automatically going to guarantee your overhead press goes up. Where are you weakest at? Is a calorie deficit the only way to burn belly fat? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we can recomposition without a calorie deficit, but you're not going to lose a lot of fat. Can you lose a few pounds while recomping here and there? Sure. But I mean, if you're talking about having belly fat, Nancy, I don't do stuff like that for free. You got to drop a super chat. I'm not here to just flex or whatever. I mean, if you want something like that, drop a super chat, show some love. But realistically, about if you have significant amounts of fat to lose, you're going to have a calorie deficit. You're going to have to lose weight. But Feed Me says, yeah, focusing on big lifts matters too, of course, but something I'm going to have to do soon, going from singles to rep work. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in front of I paid do what? I'm from of what? About says crap. I love food and I'm a good simple cook. Okay, everybody loves food. Like that's normal. Like human beings love food. It doesn't mean you can't have a calorie deficit. But you said you're a good simple cook, then cook more filling, healthy meals to help yourself get in a calorie deficit. Exercise more, build muscle. Mustafa over on Facebook says, Jason, is it normal to stall on a 220-pound bench for 10 reps? Haven't gained a lot of weight, but I don't see the point of gaining a lot of weight. Yeah, I mean, that's a normal place to stall, dude. 2 plates aside for sets of 10 is a very advanced bench press already, right? That's an advanced bench press by most standards. So yeah, especially for a really lean guy like you with abs, I mean, being stalled there for a while, not unrealistic. All right, back over to the tubes. Anything else going on here? What are you in shock of, Nancy? All right. You're welcome, Mustafa. All right. Okay. But yeah, the thing is, look at some of my meal stuff about. So go to like my Facebook or Instagram. I put up my pictures. I'm cutting and dropping a couple pounds a week, and my food still tastes pretty good, right? It's just all very filling, very low fat, high satiety, high fiber foods. Right? That's really the name of the game. That's the key. All right. Hey, Nancy, this is not that sort of chat, by the way. This is a strength and fitness channel. We try to keep stuff like that out of here for the most part. Right. Beautiful says, should we pay extra for free range chicken and free range eggs? Probably not. The benefits are minimal to zero. It's going to depend. But in some cases, some of them might have slightly better nutrition on the eggs. Eggs might, the chicken probably not. As long as you're getting just leaner cuts, you're getting all the benefit in terms of just protein quality and everything. Eggs, you could probably make a case for some free range type eggs, particularly if they have an oranger yolk, as having a little better nutritional value. So that might be worthwhile if you could see a noticeable difference there. Things like a little more beta carotene content and stuff. Gustavo says, I'm following you on Instagram, but my Instagram doesn't get a lot of traction, really. I've never really figured out how to grow Instagram much. Mustafa, but at least you're commenting in my Facebook, so I got somebody commenting, so that's always good. That helps. All right. Feed Me Immortal says, what made you want to do full body upper? That's really kind of nuanced. Because I have a long history of doing it, I thought, what the heck, I wanted to see how it works out again for me. I built all my base years ago doing it. I always had great luck with it. I promoted it a lot. Went over to splits, and I'm like, I'm cutting. It's a good time to see how I handle the recovery from it again. It used to kind of be my bread and butter of my original channel. I wrote a lot of full body programs. I built a squat up to 500 plus on full body again. Right, Nancy says, you remind me of Tom Cruise. Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Right. Mustafa says, start posting physique pictures, but that's what works for Instagram. I got to get leaner to do more physique pictures. I don't want another platform. TikTok is yet another. I've got so many videos to deal with. I started a TikTok at one time and then closed it. It was just, I felt like too much extra work with no money. I wasn't being monetized on it. And I've already got all these other platforms for short stuff. So it was just extra work for no actual money. All right. I think having more meat on you is much nicer. The lean look is good for a short time. No, I need to just get leaner for my health and everything too. Honestly, Nancy. Feed Me says, God, that's insane. I think full body is fine as long as you're very careful. As long as you're careful with the recovery, it can work really, really well. The plus side is you don't have to think in terms of, oh no, I missed a workout or something gets shifted down and this stuff gets messed with. ITH says, hey, I'm a novice stalling 110 overhead press. Any help? Yeah, keep training. You're a novice. Keep making gains. Be patient. Man, if you're getting upset of stalling at a 110 overhead press as a novice now, you're going to really hate training in 2 or 3, 4, 5 years from now when you spend 2 years to add 5 pounds to a big lift. It's coming. So, learn to be patient. And are you sure it's stalling? Why are you maxing right now anyways? Why don't you just continue to follow a proper novice program? And 110, even if it's for a max as a novice, it's still pretty good. Like I wouldn't even be upset at that. Right? If it's a true strict press, As a novice, you're ahead of the curve. So why don't be worried about your best lift that's ahead of the curve stalling a little. Just keep going. Be patient. Keep putting in the work with your iPhone. Billy is now commenting on Facebook. I'm on both right now. Hey, Coach, what's the hardest part of a fitness lifestyle? Really, I think it's the consistency. I think nutrition for a lot of people, because of the temptation with junk foods out there. I honestly do think for most people, the nutrition is the hardest. Training really isn't that hard. Like it is, but it isn't. So I'd say nutrition is the biggest stumble for people. But training can be if you don't have knowledge of how to program or whatever. But that's easy enough to hire someone to get you through. You can always get a coach who can get you through that. The nutrition, as far as, because you have to really do it all yourself, even if someone's giving you info. I think dealing with the temptations and balance on the nutrition end is the most difficult. All right. Let's hop back over to YouTube. I did the 10% drop and worked it and still not getting 5 reps in a few sets. Well, ITHO, just keep being patient. Like you're 151 body weight. Just keep going. Keep making nice, slow gains in body weight and just keep working it up. Right? Those resets are perfectly normal. Just keep flowing with it. Be patient. Keep putting in the work. Right? So just keep putting in the work. That's all there is to it. All right. We're at 17 minutes. Oh, we're doing good. All right. Of course, these views are a little slow, but that's okay. Mustafa says, Jason, how to avoid face bloat when bulking? That's a drug problem, like realistically, or not enough water and potassium. So if you're drug free, it's a potassium and water issue. Increase your potassium, increase your water intake. But also keep in mind with when bulking, it could be you're just getting fat. But as far as drugs go, if it's drug induced, you're gonna have to really watch your sodium to potassium ratios. So that moon face is often a drug effect with sodium versus potassium being way too high. Lifetime data, just like Jeff Stein and David Lee. All right. Is leaning to one side on low bar, no matter, you need to adjust the bar position. No, you shouldn't be leaning. So you need to fix the bar, right? Your bar position isn't correct. You're going to need to slide over one side another inch or figure out how to balance it out. So no, that's a barbell position issue. If it's significant, I mean, if it's just like an inch, it's no big deal. Right, I wouldn't worry about it. But if it's very noticeable, then yeah, your bar just isn't positioned correctly, so fix it. In terms of left to right setting, or one of your hands is too low. Right. Joe Frazier Joe was a client for a while, long time ago. I got him to a 4-plate deadlift. I haven't heard from Joe in many years. I remember Greg Doucette making a video about him 2 years ago, mentioning the puffy face while having a shredded 6-pack. Yeah, that could be a lot of things going on. But it's usually really lean guys in with a puffy face. It's usually an issue going on with whatever they're taking relative to electrolyte balance in their diet. All right. So it's not the carbs. No, it's not necessarily the carbs that are the issue. I mean, lowering carbs might shift your aldosterone, which will allow more sodium secretion, right? But it's not by default automatically the carbs. Well, most people look bigger on high carbs. You're going to be fuller. So yeah, right? Pretty normal. So let's tab back and forth. No more questions on YouTube for a bit, so it's a little more active on Facebook, honestly. Right. Can someone bulk into abs if they're underweight with no abs? No, absolutely not. Mm-mm. No, you're not going to bulk into more abs. Maybe doing a little bit of ab work might help them stand out a little more, but they literally just still have too much fat covering them. You can't bulk into fat loss. They could recomp a little or make very, very lean gains that might allow some recomposition that will help. So if they gain slow enough and they recomp, but no, you're not going to bulk into two bigger abs if you're skinny but still can't see them. It still means their body fat around their waistline is still too high. All right. Gustavo says, I would love you to be my personal trainer, coach, but I can't afford anything at the moment. That is unfortunate. I wish that you could afford it too. I'd totally train you. But for anyone else listening, though, I do have coaching slots open. All right. We definitely have coaching slots open, so hit me up. ITH says, but if I'm pretty light for my height, why no abs? Because you still haven't lost the body fat. Just because you're at a lighter weight, it means you don't have muscle. It doesn't mean that you're automatically lean, right? It doesn't mean that you're lean, which is why I tell guys, really be careful bulking if too much if you don't need to. It's going to be problematic. So if you don't have visible six pack, you're not as lean as you think you are just because you're at a lighter weight. It just means you're under muscled still. So, keep focusing on lean gains. And then you may need to trim down eventually if you want the abs. All right. Just keep focusing on lean gains. Especially if you're light, there's no point in cutting further down if you don't have significant muscle. Yep. And Mustafa chimed in on Facebook. He says, for everyone listening, I built my physique by listening to Jason's advice. Nice. He says he's 195 pounds, about 10 to 11% body fat. Yeah, he's pretty jacked, actually. He's sent pictures and videos over. Yeah, he's followed me for years. All right. Nothing else. The tube is really slow in this stream. I wonder why. Nobody's hitting the likes, that's why. You've been following me since 2016. That's 9 years. That's a while. Wow. Definitely a long timer. I've been doing this for 13. So you've been here the majority of it. Right, I started cranking out videos in 2012, so 13 years ago. All right. Anything happening on YouTube? Nobody's chiming back in on the YouTube. You guys got to hit the like button. Like or comments, but that's okay. It's all good. We're not worried about it. All right. Yeah, you've been following a while. So you started following me 9 years ago. You're 17, so that means you're what, 26 now? You made good progress, dude. You're lean at 195 with abs. You know, I would say that's pretty dang good progress. You're 140 pounds. Wow. So you're up to 195 with abs. Yeah, I'll count that as a win. Right. Nancy says, you have a videos I can order. I don't know what you mean. Hey, Nancy, that's stuff you would ask more in private. I'm not going to discuss anything like that in a live stream. Again, this is a strength and fitness live stream. It's about training. It's about nutrition. You can book a consultation call if you want to discuss your training and fitness. You hit me up on Facebook and do that. All right. Yeah, 140 is definitely underweight, Mustafa. So you've made pretty lean gains along the way then. All right. All right, so we've now done 3.5 hours of fasted cardio. That's pretty good pace for a non-training day. Okay. There's no viewers on Facebook with tons of comments. All right. I mean, he obviously, so think about the math. 55 pounds over 9 years. How much weight is that per year on average? Right? That's less than a pound a month. It's less than half a pound a month. Are you seated on an indoor bicycle? Yes, I am riding a recumbent bike while doing my cardio. I'm actually on a desk bike. I have a full keyboard, mouse, mic, webcam, right? Keyboard. So yes, that is correct. So yep. Gustav says, hey, Jason, what's up, Gustav? I don't know that I'm going to run this much longer, guys. We're at 3.5 hours. It's only 10 a.m. I did 3 hours of walking fasted, and then we put in over 3 hours, actually. And then we're pretty much 28 minutes on this bike. So probably not keeping this up unless something really picks up. You stopped lifting for a little bit. All right. So Mustafa, I'm also trying to keep this one person from avoiding fat bulking. They always come in my streams and they make new stuff every day, and they want to insist that they want to bulk and get fat. They like have an obsession with it. So I'm trying to deter that in the other stream. He won't see what you're writing here. Right. Veronica says, I'm vegan. I want to tone my muscles. Vegan, it's really hard to get super fit as a vegan. I'm just going to be honest with you. You should consider adding some animal source protein, even if it's just whey. You know, but you're going to need as much protein as you can force down. As a vegan, it is very difficult for you to get sufficient protein. You're going to have to build your entire life around protein, vegan protein shakes. It's going to have to be critical. Like you really need to get that 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight every single day. And that's your bare minimum on a plant base. You're going to need to go hard in the soy and tofu. It's just very difficult to do as a vegan. I'm not saying impossible, but you do have a harder road to fight. So make sure you've got a real reason to be vegan. I'm not a fan, but you know, I'll still give you that advice. The biggest issue is protein quality and total amino acid bioavailability. So you have to pretty much obsess over it as a vegan if you want to actually see good body composition and good muscle. It's not like you struggle to get the other stuff, though. You're eating all plants. So it's not like you're struggling with fiber or the other things. Protein is going to be your limit. Jason, what do you think Jeff Side is using to have? I don't know. Hey, Mustafa, because it's Facebook streaming, I'm not going to discuss drugs at all. And you're never going to know exactly what a competitor uses. They could be on 12 different things. All right. But we're past 30 minutes here, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. Right. A whole heart believes lean gains is when you're happy with your muscle mass like you. No, lean gains means you're still gaining muscle. Because I've been going really heavy on brown rice. Protein powder doesn't seem to help with my recovery much. Well, you may want to think about some dairy, or you're going to need a higher quality protein. The brown rice protein's still not doing it for you. You may want to look into adding some pea protein. You may want to look into more tofu. You're going to have to get your protein up though, like just full stop. And there's no way around that, Veronica. I'm just telling you. So consider a pea protein to complete a little better than the brown rice. You may want to start adding more tofu into your diet. You have to get that protein up. That's why you're not recovering. And there's just nothing you can say. If you're going to choose to go that route, you're going to have to obsess over it. Paul's one of my clients. He says OCD is off the charts, but I got lifting done, punched the clock, and added reps. Awesome, Paul. Good to hear it. So, Veronica, I just gave you the answer. So you're going to have to hammer down the pea protein too, and you need to eat tofu like it's going out of style. You're going to have to get the total quality of protein up, not just the protein, but the protein bioavailability. That is always going to be your limit as a vegan. You're going to have to be obsessive about it. So if you're going to choose that route and you say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, I refuse to go the other, then you need to be obsessive about that protein. It's like you're going to have to live and breathe it. And I'm just telling you the reality of it. As a coach with 25 years of experience, I'm just telling you, why are you concerned with phytoestrogens and soy? Have you not researched it? I've done whole videos with meta-analysis on that of why it's not a concern. So, it really isn't an issue. Mustafa says he has to leave. It's okay, Mustafa. We're about to shut these down anyways. All right. That has been more than sufficient cardio for the day then. So, okay, then I'll eat the tofu. So that would be my advice to you, Veronica. You can also hit me up on Facebook if you want a personal consultation. I do consultations on this stuff where I can give you individual advice. My Facebook is linked under every video. I don't mind giving further advice there. I'm not big on veganism, but I am still happy to give you advice in a professional capacity. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. I love all you guys and gals, and I'll talk to you next time.